Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about the world happiness. Since my data is collected from the World Happiness Report, here is some information about the survey. And for here is the happiness score and ranks. And here is some information about what is the scores. The happiness score is affected by those 6 factors: economy, production, social support, life expectancy, freedom, absence of corruption, and generosity contributes to make life evaluation higher in each country than they are in dystopia. Dystopia is the country where imagine it has the world lowest elation average for each of those 6 factors. They have low impact on the total score reported for each country, but they do explain why some countries rank higher than others. Here are the 3 research questions I'm going to focus on. The first one is how it changed in region, countries, or years. How does the 6 factors contribute to happiness scores? And the last one is I feel like most people think the better economy means the greater happiness score. So I just want to know, is that true for my dataset? This is the dirty dataset. For this one is collected in 2015. Totally I have 3 datasets. So for each one is in different year. As we can see, for this dataset, it has the country, region, happiness rank, happiness score, and those other factors. So, but there is no column for the year. So if I'm going to combine the 3 datasets, I need to add one column for the year first together. Here is how I clean the dataset. So what I did is select those columns and change the longer name to the shorter name. Then combine 3 datasets together by using R-band. Here is the clean dataset. So as we can see, here is the new column for the year, and the happiness score, the rank, and those other factors. The first thing I did is corporate. So from the output, we can see the economy and the health is stronger correlated to the happiness score, but for the generosity, it has the weaker relation with the happiness score. Since for the first research question, I want to know how is the difference for happiness score in region, in country, or by years. So I feel like world the maps is the best way to say that. So the first step I did is to find the country's name, which I can't find in the world maps, but it in the data. So so these are what I did. Then I add those names into my world map data. Then here is the steps how I draw the world map. The first graph is the happiness score in 2015. Here is another year. Here is in 2017. Here are the 3 group. Here are the 3 maps in different year. Actually, it's hard to see how it changed by year, but it's very clear to see uh, the most highest happy score is in the south and north of America, and the Western Europe, in the Australia. The lowest happy score are mostly in Africa. Then I was I was focusing on those country who has uh, who has the highest happy score. Then I make a table for that. Then I arranged it by the happy score. So that means the first rows contains the country in that year has the lowest happy score. Then I select the top 16 happy score. Here is the bottom 28 happy score table. Then I draw the time series graph. Here is more clear to see how it changed for the highest happy score countries. As we can see, some of them decreasing, some of them increasing, one of them no change. For this one is for the bottom 28 happy score countries. So for some of them are increasing, some of them decreasing, some of them no change. Actually, for the temporary graphs, it it doesn't help so much. So I moved to the second research question, which is focus on the economy. So for here, I did a graph for the habit score and the economy. The economy is the GDP. So as we can see, most countries are here. So for this country, they have high habit score, but they don't have the highest GDP. Also, we can say for the lower GDP country, they have very high habit score than others. Here is the graph for the low habit score countries. So as we can see, most of countries GPA is between the lowest GPA and the highest GPA, but the habit score is very high. So from those two graphs I did, I I found the higher GPA doesn't mean the higher habit score in the most case. The next question is about the factor contribution. So here is what I did. I sum those factors: uh, economy, family, health, freedom, trust, curiosity, and and this one. Since the habit score sum is equal to economy sum plus family sum, health sum, freedom sum, trust sum, and curiosity sum, and this one. So then I create a data frame for those factors. The data frame contains one column for the names and another column for the percent of for this percent is the percent of each factors uh, over the habit sum. Then I draw the 3D pie graph. It's very clear to see how those factors contribute to the habit score. So for this one is for the high habit score countries. So as we can see, the most part is the unexplained factor, and then is the economy, the GPA, and the second one is, and the third one is the family, and for the generosity contributes very nice, and the trust also contributes a little bit. For this graph is for the low habit score countries. As we can see, the unexplained factor contributes the most, and then is the family, then is the economy. For the generosity contributes very nice, and the trust also contributes a little bit. Here is the conclusion. So for the first one is we found the high habit score are mostly in the North and South America, Western Europe and Australia. The lower habit score are mostly in Africa. For the second question, we found there is no big change for habit score in region in country work per year, but for some lower habit score countries, it seems that they improve per year. And we also found that in most cases, for the higher GPA doesn't mean the higher habit score. The next one is no matter for high habit score countries or low habit score countries, trust and curiosity contributes to the habit score less, and unexplained family contributes the most. That's all. Thank you for listening.